So with Elden Ring being a few weeks out, a lot more people are actually making their way into the Dark Souls series. If you started Dark Souls for the first time or you're replaying it, you may have come across a badass dragon-riding, spear-wielding, ashen-destroying boss. I'm talking about the Nameless King. Are you sick of being destroyed by this monster again and again? Well, I've got good news. I'm going to deliver you some of the cheese that's actually going to make this fight a whole lot easier. Hey guys, welcome to Bellic Presents. We are going to be providing you with a lot of content to be able to deal with some of the more pesky enemies in the Dark Souls Sekiro series. I'm talking about cheesing a ton of enemies. Whether it's NPCs, whether it's bosses, whatever it is, I've got you covered. Today we're talking about the Nameless King. Now this particular boss, I happened to find this cheese completely on accident as I was playing him on stream. I was completely out of Estus flasks. I was fighting for my life to try and survive. And this was at the very beginning of the second phase, which is really what this guide is going to cover. The majority is the second phase, and that's where you're really going to cheese him. Breaking this into steps. Step 1, bring a heaping ton of arrows with you. A ton. It doesn't matter what kind. You can bring wood arrows, you can bring standard arrows, you can bring poison arrows, you can bring feather arrows. I suggest bringing all of them. Max them out. Bring at least 100 of all of them. Standard arrows primarily, and then feather arrows secondarily for distance. To get to Nameless King, you're going to have to go to the Belfry Campfire near the Dragon Shrine. Right next to it is the bell that you're going to ring to actually start the fight with the Nameless King. Once you ring the bell, hop down onto the smoke and then actually make your way towards the door. Once you enter the arena, the first thing you're going to notice is the giant dragon that lands in the smoke. This is the King of Storm, and he, along with the Nameless King riding on his back, are the first phase of the boss fight. Now the opening attack can actually vary, but it's usually the dragon just flying over you, repositioning itself between you and the door you came in. One of the gap closers he uses is a two-part attack where Nameless charges forward with his spear. After he will swing it horizontally. The spear attacks, at least for me, had some insane tracking, so trying to sidestep the thrust or forward rolling through a horizontal sweep might actually be pretty tricky. Another attack to watch out for is the triple attack from Nameless. He has two horizontal attacks and finishes with a huge lightning attack that can be rolled backwards away from. Now, if the dragon starts flying in a circle around you, that means Nameless is about to throw a lightning bolt at you. You see him charge it up for a second, and then eventually he'll lob it right for you. The thing to remember is that timing can be tricky, and there's a long lead time on some attacks. This one included, which can often catch people after their premature roll. Even though there can be more attacks or some combination of these, there's really only one attack we want from the dragon. The attack that you really want is the dragon's horizontal fire breath. The reason is because it lasts a while and leaves the head wide open to attack without having to worry about Nameless accosting you. This attack starts with the dragon dropping his head low and to his left, your right. When you see the flames start to form in the dragon's mouth, you want to be right next to the head, just behind where the flames are going to end, usually around the corner of its mouth. This is really where you want to live to be able to dish out attacks. Close enough to hit it without being in front of the face and getting those other pesky attacks, or constantly being out of range. You also don't want to be too close to Nameless since his spear can be punishing. He has deceptively long range, which actually goes out past the dragon's head. Once the King of Storm's health drops below a third, you should be able to get a critical attack on him when his head drops down to the ground. This should kill him. After slaying the King of Storm, the dragon the Nameless King rides on, the second phase starts and you get to fight the Nameless King proper. Step 3, and this one is important. While the Nameless King is making his way to you, as soon as the phase starts, start to fill his ass with arrows as fast as humanly possible. One of the designs for this boss has him walking towards you in a very menacingly yet slow stride. Even though this may look cool, it's not particularly practical as it gives you a ton of time to deal damage from afar. Mid to long range is really the sweet spot for this strategy, as his gap closers don't take him bow distance. As long as you keep moving and keep a good distance between you and him, you really only have to worry about his wave attacks. The first wave attack he does is a wide sweep that covers a lot of area to either side. Dodging into the attack, as in towards Nameless King, is the best way to avoid it. The second variant is a vertical wave with some decent tracking. Best way to avoid this is to dodge to either side. Most of the time the first and second wave attacks will be in succession, so once you roll into the horizontal wave, almost immediately roll to either side of the vertical wave. Sometimes he can break them up, but these attacks are really your only concern. He does have a lightning summon that doesn't travel very far, so it will be negated by long range. He also has a gap closer where he lunges forward with his spear, but again, he will not touch you at range. When in doubt, just put distance between you and him, and this fight is cake. Or cheese, in this instance. Like I said, I noticed this almost by mistake. I was out of Estus flasks, and I noticed that he was walking super slow, so I just went for the Hail Mary and started shooting arrows. And he never ran towards me. Like, never. He was just standing there walking the entire time, so why not? With this strategy, you can easily cheese what people were calling a hard boss. I hope this video was helpful, and I realized after I had actually beat the boss that a ton of people actually already made a video somewhat similar to this. Like, this strategy is not new, but I wanted to make sure that people knew in the here and now if you haven't seen it already. There is a strategy to beat this difficult boss. I've got a bunch more strategies coming for a lot of other enemies in Dark Souls, and obviously I'm going to be making more for Elden Ring if there's cheese possible, and I'm going to try my hardest to make as much cheese happen in that game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.